Hey Springford, and welcome to The Dish. I'm here with...
I'm Jules.
Sam.
And I'm Liv. And so, the other day I saw an interview with Shia LaBeouf. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember him. He was in Holes.
Holes and even Stevens, and he was just a very wholesome child star. And so I saw him on this interview the other day, and if you guys just want to show the clip.
You seem to have gone crazy since the last time I saw you. Is that true?
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he kind of admits that he's been off of, the railway for a while. He was actually discussing how he got kicked out of Cabaret.
Isn't that like a Broadway musical?
Yes, the Broadway
yes,
musical.
Schools, of course.
And he was just being very loud and drunk, and so it kind of brought to my attention how many other child stars have kind of gone away from their good image.
Tarnished.
It's kind of like Miley Cyrus. I mean, she started out being a young child actor on Hannah Montana. Do you guys watch the show?
I love that show.
So she would bring in about like $15,000 per episode, which is a lot for a kid to make. But a child actor really only sees like 30 to 40% of it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Because you have to pay like agents and managers, and there's like trust funds. So really, whenever you turn 21, you get like most of the money you make. Now she's 22, so she's pretty successful. And you guys remember whenever she came out with Can't Be Tamed?
Oh, yeah.
So that was pretty much like her biggest controversial album, but it was also her lowest selling album because it kind of like was her going away from her like kind of G-rated
True
side.
Friends,
Yeah,
all that.
like beat Miley Cyrus and all that.
Yeah.
And now she's like a little bit more explicit with her image. She just came out with her album Bangers.
I went to that show.
I love
yeah?
that album.
Me too.
Yeah, I went to the show. It was definitely a very provocative show, but I guess it just kind of shows that she grew up.
Yeah.
Very true,
So
very
she's
true.
definitely different from then what she was back then, but she's still successful. So.
What about Lindsay Lohan? We all see her in the news. She's a little wild. Personally, I think she's quite attractive, but that's just my own opinion. Now, do you remember her from The Parent Trap and Freaky Friday? And
She was
and
so
Mean Girls.
awesome.
Mean Girls, that's my personal favorite. I love that movie. It's a really
Confessions
good
of a
movie.
Teenage Drama Queen.
I
She
forgot
had
about
so many
that.
good things in her career, and now.
Yeah, totally. And in 2007, that's when she actually started with her legal troubles. She got charged with a DUI, and just weeks before her probation, she got charged with another DUI. Hey, look, we have an image there. And and later that July, she also was caught with cocaine and another DUI while driving with a suspended license.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lindsay
can't do that,
Lohan.
folks. Can't do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you cannot.
You got to control these child stars.
Yeah. Now, how do you guys feel about the whole image of getting into legal troubles when so many kids looked up to you at an early age?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of exposure that child actors receive, like a lot of drugs and alcohol, opportunities
Yeah,
that
definitely.
they can get into.
And I think it's the same thing with Amanda Bynes. She had a very, very early age that she became into stardom, and now it just kind of came out of nowhere how she's, well, for example, on Twitter, she's calling out very successful musicians and
I saw
actors,
that.
right? And now she was facing legal troubles, and she's a whole mess. Things happened with her parents, how they're withholding her money from her, and she's getting, a lawyer against her parents now. She just needs to pull herself together.
Against her parents.
Yeah, you see her on social media a lot, and I think that's how a lot of kids can relate to her.
Yeah.
And see all the things that she's actually doing in real life.
Yeah.
So there she is now with her, she got cheek piercings. And,
Yeah.
it's good luck.
She needs
Okay.
to,
Yeah, and then going off of Miley Cyrus, another one of her co-stars, Mitchell Musso. You guys remember him? So he's 20 now, and he was arrested. He had 2 DUIs, just like Amanda Bynes. And another thing he did, he was refusing to pull over to a cop. So
Gotta pull over to cops.
I don't know. And it was a picture of him posing with cigarettes in his mouth, and then he
and it's just very different from when he was a kid.
Really different.
Definitely. Although tobacco is not illegal, it's definitely not something we want to see our child actors
It's
imposing.
not something you want to have your kid look up to if that was their role model. And then with his probation, after the DUIs. It got him kicked off of a TV show, Pair of Kings.
Pair of
Got
Kings.
that, so he lost that opportunity.
And that was right after, Hannah Montana ended. So that was his whole stardom thing starting up. Didn't go so well.
So let me ask you this: do you guys think being a child star means that you're going to be a troubled adult?
I mean, not in all cases, because I think some child stars are still really successful, like Selena Gomez, for example.
Selena Gomez.
Like she started out really young. I think she even started on a couple Barney episodes, and then
Good
her
show.
Wizards of Waverly Place. You guys remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, she was pretty successful with that, and she also came out with a couple albums with her band Selena Gomez and the Scene.
Yep.
Dating Justin Bieber for a while, if I'm not.
Oh yeah, dated Justin Bieber.
I hear her on
He's a
the radio
good-looking
all the
guy.
time. Like she's getting successful.
Yeah,
as
she's
a
still really
musician.
successful.
Yeah.
Still a good role model for girls to look up to. And then she did a lot of acting too. She was in like
Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers, Monte Carlo, another Cinderella story. So she is doing really successful things in her
And
life.
she's pulled away from Disney.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's trying to establish herself as a serious actor, and I totally
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and Hillary
fan of
Duff
her.
too. You guys remember Hillary Duff?
Oh, I love
Lindsay
Hillary
McGuire
Duff.
show. Ooh, that was a great show.
That
I
was a
gotta
great
tell you
show.
that. Well, she's got a really great public image these days, and she's really steered off from the typical, like, stereotype that child actors turn out crazy and stuff. And she's actually, for the past couple of years, been in the Maxim's top 100 hot women. So I mean, that's pretty
Right,
cool,
yeah.
I guess.
I mean,
she's
she's
actually
attractive.
she was married to an NHL star, and they had a kid together. But now they're actually separated. But instead of getting into a big legal fight about custody, they both agreed to
Sure.
share the kid, co-parent
Joint
the son.
custody.
Yeah,
So that's the
Well,
adult thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
If it
No,
doesn't,
but
like,
she didn't want to
it's
make
not
any
gonna work
media
out.
about it. Just keep it calm and subtle.
and that's what I like about her.
Yeah. Always
So-
a fan of her.
Also, do you guys know Melissa Joan Hart?
Yes.
Might
of
be,
course.
might be
Yes.
from a little bit ago though. She was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch as well as a bunch of other movies from early 2000s and the
yeah.
90s. And well, Melissa Joan Hart is I think in her 30s now, and she has kids and married. And well, she is on a very family-friendly show now called Melissa and Joey on
Oh
ABC
yeah, I've
Family.
seen that.
Well, I mean, she's maintained her image, like a good image
Yeah.
throughout all of these years, and she still hasn't really done anything that's hurt
Yeah.
her image.
Yeah, you never see anything about her in the news.
Yeah, I think she deserves credit too. I mean, she's been in the business for a long time and she's kept clean record,
Yep.
been like good image. So
That's really good with her. So to answer your question, no, I don't think being a child star will ultimately, have a bad effect on your career.
Yeah, I don't think it's set in stone once you're a child star. I think everybody has the right to choose their own fate and see what happens later in life.
yeah, it's definitely not true with all cases. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes it does turn negatively, but then there are some positives too. That
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you, Springford, and we'll see you next time.
Serving it up on the dish.
Springford style.